kill, and love cannot live in the same space. It can't live on the same planet.
So by the fact that we are all on this planet makes us murderers and child molesters.
Yes, and we're on this planet not doing anything about it.
Not doing, well, we're putting them in prison.
Well, that is the action that causes more of the same action. When you look down your nose and when you condemn a person for their action, the overwhelming propensity or overwhelming reaction to that is more of the same. That's why we have to keep building more and more prisons. Because the more we punish people for being the way they are, the more they are the way they are.
So right now our prisons are bulging at the seams with drug users.
Or whatever it is. It doesn't make any difference. They're bulging at the seams.
Right. And we have had all these drug laws passed within the last 40, 50 years against, you know.
All aimed at the ones selling the drugs. Mostly. There are drugs. There
yeah,
are
but
laws
the ones in our
prison
prison are mostly users.
Exactly. And sellers. Most of them, I would guess,
little sellers that have to
sell it to
But it seems like the more we put in prison, the more we get. You're right, and they keep coming back.
It keeps manifesting itself even greater because they're going to prove us wrong. Because they're the little worm we're looking down on. I don't know whether you're missing the whole thing. It was a huge point that I just made. It's a huge transition. It's a huge transformation about which I'm speaking.
Oh, I missed it.
It means to say that we are the ones.
We are the world.
Yes. We are the ones allowing all of these things to happen.
But I don't know what to do
exactly
about all of these things that are happening. Child molestation.
So what will you do?
I get angry. I get upset.
See that?
I want to kill the molester.
Yeah, you want to kill people for killing.
I want to kill child molesters.
Well, sure. Now look, Bombsway Bush said in his tenure up there, he said he goes over, he sends the troops over, and he kills hundreds of thousands of people in Afghanistan and Iran. All those hundreds of thousands of people. And every person that he killed over there creates probably 10 enemies of the United States, 10 more people who hate the United States. Then another president comes in and stops, at least sees if he can bring an end to the war. And Cheney steps up and says, now we are a lot more at risk of being attacked because of Obama. No, we are a lot more at risk because of the actions of Bush and Cheney, because they went over there and killed all those people. If Iraq sends somebody over and they kill your 2 daughters and all your grandchildren and me, well, maybe you'd thank them for that. Your whole family, what are you gonna think of Iraq?
I'm not going to like it.
You're not going to like them. And if you had money, you might even hire a couple of mercenaries or do something to get back at them. So killing people in another country does not make our country safer. It makes it far more at risk.
But nobody will look at that. I mean, our government seems to be blind to the fact that killing brings forth more killing.
Sure. When you look at a conspiracy of ineffectiveness, which is what we live in, then it says the people who are the most successful, the richest, and the most educated are the ones that are going to lead us. And the greatest deterrent to intelligence is knowledge. That's how backwards we have everything. So the ones with the greatest knowledge lead. They're the ones who put the laws in place. They're the ones who brought us to this place. Yes. The most knowledgeable of people.
Yes.
And ones with the most money.
And we elect those people to do that.
We elect those people.
So that makes us responsible.
We are responsible.
And that makes us a child molester.
Well, there's a leap for you, but yes, I'll take it for the sake of the conversation. But mainly I was pointing towards the greater the success in a failed entity, the dumber the person. So using that, you could say the dumbest person on the planet would be Bill Gates. He is the one who has made the greatest amount of money. He is the one who has psychologically killed more people than anybody else in order to get his money. The one requisite for getting money mainly is to step on other people, to take advantage of them. You find a thing you can sell for 10 cents, and as soon as it breaks the nut, what they call breaking the nut, meaning you can pay for your business and all your other stuff, then everything above that's a profit. So instead of, once it gets past that point, instead of just going a little bit and selling it there and keeping things so that it can be affordable completely, you keep selling it and selling it and selling it, and you find ways of increasing your profit. So that what would cost you a dime without that person, without Bill Gates's greed, what should cost you a dime costs you $100 today. Were he not greedy, you would pay a dime for it. But since he is greedy, the world's wealthiest man gets $100 from you to pay for what should cost a dime. Now that's stretching it a little bit, but
is that part of economics? I don't
that's Edwardonomics 101.
Edwardonomics.
Yes. You won't hear this in Harvard, or they haven't caught up to it yet. Harvard and Yale haven't caught up to Edwardonomics yet.
Edwardonomics.
It's outside of time is what I'm talking about.
Outside of time.
Because all of the things that we have done since day one are a total failure. We have completely failed as human beings on planet Earth.
So we need to see our failure.
See our failure.
We cannot do anything to improve our lot on this planet until we see
our failure.
That everything we've done
is a failure.
Has failed.
Right.
And is failing.
Yeah, because if we do anything from what we've already done, and what we've already done is a failure, then what is it that we'll do going to be?
Fail.
Fail. Obama's things are as a good example. We got into the problem that we are in
by borrowing.
spend. We borrowed from Wednesday to pay for Tuesday. So now we're borrowing from 100 years from Wednesday to pay for Tuesday, in order to fix the fact that we're borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today. So while it's a Band-Aid, and it'll probably bump the world society back along for a while and let it limp for another 25 or 30 years, what's bound to happen is there has to be a collapse of the way we do things. It has to collapse, or it's going to